and Jizzy, it's going to be a front band that I'm going to be having a lot of fun playing off him, on stage. So, it's going to be a period of adaptation to that. But that's, it's going to be very quickly. It's going to take maybe a couple of shows, and that's it.
Cool. Now I got a little technical question. Being a guitar player now, on Blizzard of Oz is standard tuned, and then you go to Diary of Madman, and a majority of that album is tuned down a half a step. And then when Tribute came out, the Diary tunes are tuned down, and the Blizzard tunes are tuned standard, like normal.
Yeah.
And so, did you guys have different guitars? Just grab different guitars for that? For the Diary tunes compared to the Blizzard tunes?
Yes, and that's why Randy played the polka dotter and played the Les Paul mostly. That's it. That's all. Oh, no, the polka dotter, the Les Paul, and the first white. The
Concord there, the first.
The Concord, yeah.
Rhodes turned out to be
correct. Yeah, those were mainly for different tunings. He just felt that some different guitars were more comfortable in different tuning. One thing you have to take into consideration is that Tribute was during the about 3 months that we did touring for the Blizzard of Oz record. Okay. That was not recorded, because as I recall, Tribute, the album Tribute, as it is credited in the back of the album, it was recorded, I believe, at Saint Inez. It's a theater in Montreal.
Okay, yeah.
It's Saint something in 1981. Okay, and that was like in the first maybe 6 weeks, because at the end of that's when Def Leppard came in. So it was the first leg of the Blizzard of Oz tour when Motorhead was opening up for us. So, and that's the only period. Oh, no. Then, okay. We did a recording, a live recording, that people claim that this is what Tribute is from. Cleveland. Now,
the Cleveland, yep.
I don't need to do that because I was there for everything, and it doesn't really matter to me which version it was, because I got to tell you, the band was pretty much consistent from show to show, right? But some of the the real fans, fanatical about things, everything having to do with Randy Rhoads, they kind of like take in WAV files and put it in Pro Tools and compare performances, because there was really no official, let's say that we were told, okay, guys, we're making a record, a live record. No, there was never, except for Speak of the Devil, which is the Ozzy re-recordings of Black Sabbath songs with Brett Gillis. That's the only one that we're told, okay, guys, we're going to make a record and it's going to be live.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, don't make it, and this is what I was told on the way to the state by Sharon. Boys, don't make any mistakes, because it's not going to be overdubbed. So everything you hear, all the music that you hear on Speak of the Devil, the Ozzy re-recording of Black Sabbath, it's like, I mean, I'll put my hand on the Bible that my bass parts are all while we play live. That's what you hear. Okay.
Outstanding.
Nice.
Okay. Because I say that because I said I swear on it on the Bible, because I left the band about 2 or 3 days after that.
Okay.
I flew back from New York back to LA and officially rejoined what became the mental health version of Quiet Riot.
Okay.
So whatever happened, I know those are my bass parts, because people there's in social media again, people that claim like, oh yes, I have recordings from the crowd of you guys recording those songs, and the music is exactly alike. It's the same recording. Whatever they have, they matched it to bootlegs, live bootlegs of that night at the Ritz, the 2 nights that we played with the actual record. So, the music, it is what it is. Okay. So the tribute album is really an album made out of a live broadcast. We did back in the day. They had Westwood One and they had King Biscuit.
Yep, I heard
King
those.
Biscuit.
Yep.
Yeah. So we did 3 with Randy. We did one in Cleveland that was the first bootleg called Bathead Soup.
Okay.
The band was like 2 weeks into the tour. This is in Cleveland. Then we came back and then we did the one in Montreal that Ozzy, for some reason, did not like it. He hated it, right? So within a few weeks later, we were in South Bend, Indiana. No, not South Bend. Indianapolis, because it was at the Market Square Theater, the theater that was in the square.
Mm-hmm.
At the Market Square Arena the same night, the Jacksons were playing. So I know it was at the theater. We redid it, and that's the one that was broadcast. So we did one King Biscuit, one Westwood One, and then the one in Montreal was shelved. And that's what's supposed to be tribute, because it had not been broadcast, which means it had not been bootleg.
True. I hear that.
But with Randy, we did 3 broadcasts. 2 officially were broadcast, and 1 was shelved, which is the Montreal, and that's what it's supposed to be tribute.
Okay.
Now, I've heard people argue that, and you know what? I don't have enough time to sit down, go into a lab, and say, because, really, it's us playing whatever it is, and it's really Randy playing, it's us playing, and whatever, So that doesn't, whatever. I really don't care. And then we did another one, I believe, from Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Memphis with Brad Gillis.
Yeah, we had Brad on. We had Brad on the show a few weeks ago, and we talked to him about. He said that King Biscuit show there kind of made his life a little easier as far as playing with Ozzy, because the fan he seemed to get a little respect instead of hatred.
Yeah. Oh no, he was in a tough spot.
Oh yeah.
But I got to give him so much credit and gratitude for his focus, his devotion, and his respect of Randy's playing and legacy. He really did. I mean, he did exactly what we needed. We needed to finish the tour with dignity and respect and a celebration of Randy's contribution, his composition, and his performance, the way that he played. And Brad did an admirable job. He sure did. And then his version of those Black Sabbath songs, I mean, I listen to it now. They're available on YouTube, and I listen to those recordings, and I go, wow, I'm blown away by Brad, the way that he played it. It was amazing. And it's live. And we really had like 5 days to learn all those songs. So it was quite a challenge, but, we did it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And now, what do you think about Randy getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame all on his own for his own musical excellence? I think that's pretty amazing.
It's amazing, and it's timely, and I mean timely because, I see Randy as the continuation of the Shredder legacy. That the last one from the 70s was Eddie Van Halen, because as we recall what was happening after Van Halen got signed, new wave and punk became the new music favored by the radio, and so all the bands and musicians in LA, which was one of that's where everybody gravitated to put a band together or have your band showcase in front of the labels. We were not getting any attention whatsoever from the labels, for the type of music. And I know it wasn't just us; it was like early incarnations of Motley Crue, Mickey Rat, which became Rat. You got Dokken. You have Great White, and with a different name. Blackie Lawless doing something else. So it wasn't until later on. And so what happened was that Randy Randy had no choice. As a matter of fact, his mom told him, "Hey, listen, if you read this, opportunities like these don't come around all the time." Mm-hmm. So she actually gave him the advice to actually leave L.A. and join Ozzy, so he could actually, make something of himself. And he sure did,
Yeah.
So when he joined Ozzy, he asked Ozzy, "What do you want me to play? How do you want me to write? What direction do you want to go?" And Ozzy said, "Man, just be yourself," which is something that Randy did not have. That opportunity with Quiet Riot. Quiet Riot was pretty much boxed into what the labels were looking for in L.A.
Yeah.
And then with Ozzy already had a record deal, so it was more of like, let's do it. Let's just make some good music. And that's when Randy was able to dig into his classical guitar, love of the classical. He played acoustic classical guitar before he actually played electric. So he was really rooted in that, and a lot of musical education. He comes from a family of music educators. His mom having opened up a music school, and Randy was a teacher there. So he was very, very educated as far as compositions and being able to play the right things, and having musical taste and all of that, choices of notes to play.
Oh yeah.
And so what happened is that Randy was able to do that in England. He could have never written a record like Blizzard of Oz at that time in Los Angeles. No, it was impossible. So in England, he could. Yeah, that was the perfect place. Kind of like what Hendrix had to leave New York to go to London and become Jimi Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same thing with Randy. So then Randy comes back to the U.S. with Blizzard of Oz record, playing some of the songs of Diary of a Madman. 40 years ago, I would speak. We were doing that, and that's when people start saying, "Wait a minute, check this guy out." Because before that, it ended with Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
So there was like a 4-year period of no other new shredder.
Mm-hmm.
And what was really interesting is that Randy and Eddie were contemporaries.
Yeah.
So what happened is Randy is not really influenced. It's not like somebody who started to play guitar because he heard Eddie Van Halen for the first time. No, it's like Randy had his own roots, and so did Eddie.
Yeah.
So when Randy comes out with his classical roots, it was because he had been playing like that for, he was like maybe 23, 24 when he recorded a Blizzard. So he had been playing that for, at least, he started playing when he was like 4 or 5 years old. So that's almost 20 years of playing guitar,
Man.
So he was really rooted in being himself, which what it did is, it was like, okay, we have a new shredder, but he's not a clone of the last shredder that came out, Eddie Van Halen. So by him doing that, he's just opened up the door and inspired a new generation of shredders, just like Eddie kept inspiring everybody,
Yeah.
all through his whole career. But now you have a whole different source of inspiration, and so I see it as yes. This is Randy just opened the door wide open for what came out of the '80s. Guitarists and musical composition and different genres of metal. I run into European metal musicians who claim that Randy Rhoads, his composition of Diary of a Madman, opened up that whole new metal scene, death metal and all of that, just the way that the chords, the arrangements, all the way that
dark sounds,
the darkness of it, And what was really interesting, I think that if Randy would have stayed in sunny Burbank, he would have never had that inspiration of being in England, where it could be a little gloomy. To actually, absorb some of that, I wouldn't say darkness, but I would say melancholy. maybe also he was away from home. He was really, you know, he